Greetings. Welcome. Welcome, one and all. Not quite Merry Christmas yet, but Merry Mountmas. I don't know, something like that? Can you guys hear the game audio okay, as far as levels go? Is it too loud? Is it too quiet? What's up? Big day today. So how's the game audio? No game audio at all. Okay, hold on. That's a little unintended. Can you hear the game audio now? Nothing now. Okay. Well, maybe we're good now. Super faint. I wonder why. Does this make it any louder? Okay. The horse audio is not, it's not loud on purpose. Just so it doesn't, drive you guys crazy after you get used to hearing it, Okay. Well, let's hope that this is kind of where we need to be, I guess. Get my bearings here. Guys, the smoothness and the polish of the controls is something to just drool over. There's a reason why when people play Pantheon, especially people that hear about it. By the way, check out the nighttime lighting, huh? What do you think? A little better? A little better? Yeah. But when people hear about Pantheon and they're like, oh, a classically spirited game, I will play it and I expect there to be a lot of jank and it to feel really rough. No, they play it and they're like, wow, this is really smooth. Really smooth. Now do you hear the hoofs? This is a very, I mean, obviously I'm I'm on a pretty rare mount, so yeah, it's very fast. Don't expect to be riding around at this speed anytime soon. But yeah, yes. Okay, couple of really important caveats to make here, okay? What's the speed attribute? This is a speed of 9. 11 brawn, 10 endurance, 6 recovery. The recovery is terrible. Speed of 9, stability. I have an item on right now that supersedes the actual, like, endurance of the horse as well, so you couldn't really see, like, how quickly it was, you know, what the endurance rate was, so I'll take that off. Does it jump? Yes, it does. There are some, there's some animation polish and some various things that we definitely need to do, but it feels good, guys. It feels really, really good. The responsiveness, you know, it matches our player character controller really, really well. So... Now, things like tails, manes, stuff like that, you know, yes, this is a very large tail. It's a very poofy tail. Mixed feelings even on the team about the tail. But there will be lots of different tail styles, lots of different styles of things. This is just kind of our starting point, so. But some people like the big tails as well, so it is what it is. Now, I see other people saying, hey, nighttime. Nighttime's kind of brighter. And you're right. It is. Does this reflect our ultimate kind of like goal for nighttime lighting? No. Not necessarily. But the nighttime in the overworld is more about the unique things that happen at nighttime, the unique NPCs that spawn, unique events, increased danger, things like that. It's not intended to be about, you know, basically like don't go anywhere because you're going to die because you can't see anything. Now, once we get underground, once you get subterranean, once you're actually in places where there is no light, then yeah, like your torches and your light sources and things like that are going to be really important. Darkness fractures and things like that are going to be really dark. This is not necessarily where nighttime is going to stay, but given, you know, Christmas time coming up, given our limited amount of time with everything that we're working on, we wanted to get it to a place where it was visible, where there weren't any issues. There's a lot of people planning on coming back on Friday to test out mounts, to, you know, have the new double experience. I've been playing a lot more, guys, myself, as you know, and it was terrible. Like, you couldn't do anything at night. It was awful. So, this is a better solution. This is a better, you know, place for things to be. And I personally, I don't think it's that bad. It's a bright, you know, clear night. There's no clouds. Like, I'm not in a shadowed area. Like, if we went back to let's go back over here for a second. Kind of where I was when we started the stream. Little more shadow. More shadow. So, yeah, it's bright. And we might tone it down a little bit. But we got some work to do on weather and like how dark the weather makes things. We've got more work to do just in general, dialing nighttime lighting in and various things. But this is going to be a really nice reprieve for a lot of people who haven't been able to play at all. So. As far as ogres on mounts, and for that matter, dwarves and halflings on mounts, we do scale the mounts a little bit depending on what the race is. So ogre mounts will be scaled up a little bit. Halfling mounts will be scaled down a little bit within a range to keep it from looking ridiculous. Yeah, ogres look like big, chonky ogres sitting on top of horses, for sure. As they should. Oh, what time is it right now in the game? 22. Yeah. I don't know what time it is over here. We're about to see. So, weird intro today. I don't know. I wanted to be dramatic and kind of like do something a little more cinematic. But let's get down to business. I want to say thank you to F Polyak with the Prime sub. To Bean the Magic Tomato with the Prime. Thank you so much. Nizdal with the Tier 1. 18 months. And for the 19 months of support. Awesome. Awesome. Guys, thank you so much for that. I appreciate it big time. We've also got our friends over in YouTube land as well. Good to see you all. Thanks for being here, guys. We got a lot to talk about today. We had the Mastery Dev Diary come out. It's something that everyone has been so excited to hear about. Now we are able to talk about it relatively freely, so that's exciting. We got a huge patch coming up Friday with mounts and taming coming into the game. We've got, double experience coming online. It's a big patch. It's big. Lots of other stuff in there as well. Let me say hello, Galen, just from the top of my chat list. Galen, Maranth, Tabix, Briar, Carrick, Zace, Kazik, Braylin, Let You Live, Skiatch, Curbs, Spectre, Vaydation, Welcome, Suds, Glorf, Nizdal. Yep, that's Nizdal, all right. Cut off your head. Not you, Nizdal. Kurgan, Ebony Spice. My name is Dietrich. I am from Germany and love your stream. Yo, that's awesome. Thanks for saying that, Ebony. Where did we go? Jibba Jabba. Can we get a 360 view of the mount for us late arrivals? Well, this is pretty late, but yes, you can. Oh, and also for you first-person enthusiasts. What? That's right. Dilbo Backskin, Gatto, Woodland. Welcome. Churro Dude. Good to see you all. Krysek, Gigaleek, Chris Frozen. Welcome. Fringus, Zach Dies, Pink Mingo, Goonie. Woo. Good to see you all. Tenex, Homer Cleese, Just Butler. Little polish point there. You'll see that, and you'll feel that once you get on them. They feel amazing. Like, I kid you not. Like, our character controller is awesome. The mounts are like right in line with it. Like, you will feel that sense of continuity going on foot to being on your mount. Feels great. But you'll notice there are, there's going to be a few little polish points like the first person jump, just other little things. Once we get back we'll be putting some time into that kind of stuff. So, yeah. Yep, saddle horn. It's there. Yeah, we can take a look at that. Take a look at. I don't want to look at too many things. You know, as usual, I want a lot of this to be things that you guys experience for yourself. I'm gonna head to a stable real quick and just show off a little bit of the work that Steve's been doing on that. Press 80, 80, 80 really fast. Set the sky to cloudy overcast. Yeah. But you guys know, and I know a lot of you guys have been, as you've been anticipating the mounts and taming stuff, I mean, of course, the thought is like, is it going to be janky? Is it going to be janky? Because it can be often very janky. And I'm very, very proud to say that it is absolutely not janky. So here we go. Cloudy weather starting to set in. You can tell immediately that, you know, it definitely gets quite a bit darker when it's cloudy. Let's do heavy storm. Yak, I did say that, and as we were getting into the system, ultimately, I want our ships, like when we do eventually have ships, I really would like for them to have that kind of sense of momentum and weightiness and drag and things like that. And when I say ships, I'm including everything from eventually, you know, down the road having ships all the way to like just a raft, any kind of seafaring vessel of any kind. I want that to feel like a different kind of controller. But since mounts are meant to be such a extension of the player, it's something that I would say we've tweaked since, you know, originally. Hold on, I'm about to say hello to all of you YouTubers here shortly. Let me just I want to hop this fence. Thank you. Goodness. I mean, even just precision, you know, like being able to do precision jumps and stuff. It all feels really good. Really, really good. All right. We got our stable here. Obviously, with most of our UI stuff, consider these things prototypical. You know, it's not looking super fancy, right? But prototypical UI. You know, I can come here and I have an open stall, so I can put my mount in the stall. If I want to be free of a mount, when I do that, I don't have a mount window anymore. I can come and say, hey, I'd like to get my mount out, please. Set this as my active mount. And then he runs out of the stable and get on him. There's no mounting and dismounting animation right now. It's just is what it is. That'll come. But yeah, the rest of it, guys, the taming part, I'm leaving that up to y'all. You guys can figure that out. You guys can experience that. Yeah. Oh, and I will say this too. What happens if you jump in the water, huh? There you go. Wouldn't recommend it. Wouldn't recommend going too far like this. Eventually, you will. Your mount won't be able to handle it. But for shallow water and things like that, then yeah. Isn't that so funny with ads? Like literally, like it sounds like the moment that I was about to hit the water, ads came on. That's funny. All right, while we're swimming back here, let's say hello to some of our YouTube friends. Gurkha Games, Zikar, welcome, welcome. Rachel Ghoul, unknown protagonist. Fars Christian Larson, good to see you. Alberto, welcome. Mike Dunn. Gladhouse. Whoop. If I dismount while I have a mount out, then I can go to my mount window here, can dismount, and he'll hang around for a little bit. About 30 seconds or so. I can, you know, hop off, do something, whatever I need to do, and then can hop back on while they are still there. Yeah, for people that missed the water. Did I teleport off them? Yeah, right now you just teleport on and off. We don't have the mounting and the dismounting animations in yet, but we will have them. Tumadin. We've got Punta del Este. I got to figure out a better way to handle like the YouTube chat because for whatever reason it's just harder for me to read. We've got Flange in the house, Brian as well. Good to see you all. Thusad, Section 9. Hey, Unknown, I'm glad to hear that. I love knowing that for some of you, these streams are like super cozy to watch. That's awesome to hear. Yeah, Yuzo, that's right. Yo, Seed, thank you so much for the Prime. Appreciate that. When he poofs after 30 seconds, you can. As long as it's your active mount, you can dismount and remount freely. Excuse me, and if they do poof after that 30 seconds, you can just summon them again. But you can. Let's check that out. Let's see if we can go get knocked off of our mount. Let me put my level back down to, I don't know, 22. Let's go with that. Let's go with that. Just read the spring update and I'm extremely excited about it. Good. Good. There's a lot of dev diaries to watch or to read. There's a lot of dev diaries to read. So make sure, if you're not aware of any of it, make sure that you find them all and read them all. Today was number 7. What happens when you get attacked while mounted? Do you fall off or just take damage? So the cool thing is, mounts have stats. They have quite a few stats. And one of the stats that all mounts have is brawn. So for this mount, I actually have really high brawn on this mount. It's kind of a procedural random roll. So every time you tame a mount, you don't know. You'll have some clues as to whether it's like a common or an uncommon or even a rare. We don't have any epic or mythic or beyond, quality mounts in the game yet. Rare is the highest we have. But the rarer the quality of the mount, the higher the stats are able to be. But part of it is going to be kind of that collection loop of like, you want to find a really good mount. And once you find a really good mount stat-wise, that's when you want to make sure you get back and stable it so you can make it permanent. But brawn is the stat that governs how likely you are to get knocked off when you take damage. So anytime you take substantive damage, so not like if you get, plinked for like a point of damage or something like that, but as long as you take a relatively solid hit, you have a chance to get knocked off. And the higher the brawn stat for your mount, the less likely you are to get knocked off. Hey, quick save. Some of us agree with that. That, you know, and the thing about the mounts too is to keep in mind that they're intended to be a pretty wide variety of not only the mount, you know, aspects themselves, so like the type of mane, the type of tail, the shape of these things, but also the tack and, you know, some of the other things on the mount. Let's go to the Gadai Fort. Yeah, let's go to the Gadai Fort. I'm actually gonna just zip on up there. Yeah, there'll be a variety of tales. For sure. Flying mounts confirmed, yeah. No. Absolutely not. Alright. Aggro on. Hello, everyone. I am just minding my own business. No need to cause problems. Ow. Oh, there we go. Well. Let's do this. Let's get back up. Let's remount. And then let's try and run through. Let's gallop through and see what happens. Hello. Did you guys hear the little whistle? Ooh, that smoke trick is rough. Ooh, okay. Yeah. I forget sometimes like how ridiculous this place is. Like, it's how crazy the Gadai Fort is. I'm excited when we can revisit this one. Wow. Okay. Well, that answers that question. Yeah, many of you have not forgotten, indeed. Indeed. I'm sad to leave this world that's actually, I can see things at night, but I think it's time for me to switch over to the live servers. Because we need to keep pushing our warrior along, because I want to be in a good position when the patch hits to catch up with my other two characters. At least. And then keep going. Show us the mastery menu? No. No. Not yet. Not yet. Wild's End's... Oh, we should... Hey, let's check Wild's End. Yes, we should totally go check Wild's End. Because, yes, Wild's End lighting was touched as well. Hey, Joppa, will every faction offer quests if you are in good standing with them? Not necessarily. The main two things you can expect, like just right off the rip with factions, is either quest unlocks, but then also merchant and vendor unlocks. That's going to be a really big part of the faction system. Unlocking deeper inventories of merchants and getting access to more specialized things that you can purchase. Let's head to Wild's End. We actually reduced, just ever so slightly, reduced the intensity of the fog in Wild's End as well. So the clarity of your distance vision is a little bit improved. Let's try some different times today. So let's go to like 9 a.m. This isn't the best place because we've the volume right around the well pond is a little bit different. So let's get a little deeper in here. There we go. Now we got the fog settling in. I think the lighting in the game across the board. So Jim Kim, one of our newer devs, world builder, 3D artist, he's been doing a lot with, or he's done a lot with lighting in the past. No, this is not nighttime. No. So he's done some really cool stuff in this latest push that I love. I think has made the game overall take a few steps forward visually. So this is like 9 a.m. Let's go to like, I don't know, like late afternoon. This is like 4 p.m. And then we'll go to 6 p.m., which was one of the really problem times right at that transition from day to night. You can actually see. You can actually friggin' see. Whew. Cool. I mean, just being able to see things like that path, you know, extending out, but then being able to kind of orient yourself. Let's go over here to the coastline. I told PBL, I talked to Phil yesterday. I was like, hey, I think that the whinny sound that the horses make when they jump is a little bit too hot right now. Happens too often. So we'll see. You guys can let us know if you feel like it's getting on your nerves. Looking for a good place to drop down here. This will be fun. That's so cool. I mean, like, it's so nice to be able to see it. Horse fall damage is rough, which is why sorry, I was just reading T-Chief's statement here. This season. Anyway, what I was going to say is Steve was actually working today to see if we could quickly kind of just a bit pull back on fall damage, just a bit, like across the board, including horses, because sometimes that velocity based fall damage when you're on a horse can be pretty rough. I mean, that was, you know, that's just that little bit right there. So hopefully that'll be a little improved. We'll see. But I mean, just the fact that you can like see now and see like the shininess of the water and like tell where the water plane is and just, man, it just makes such a big difference. I understand that people love nighttime, and I understand that they love the idea of it being dark and all that stuff. And I do too in many ways, but like you want to be able to see the world, you know, when you're upside, when you're up top, you want to be able to see it, get that nice vibe. Will our gear apply to modify mount stats like endurance, for instance? No, it will not. It will not. Super Trash with the gifted membership. Super Trash, you rock. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Big time. Merry Christmas to you as well, my friend. That's awesome. But yeah, Wild's End. site is for casuals. Okay. I am going to probably camp out right here. Does horse swim skill need to level up separately from character swim skill? No. The horse swim speed will piggyback on your swim skill. Yeah. Your skill, not it shouldn't take into account any kind of like swim speed buffs or things like that. Yeah, 2 minutes. That is kind of the needle we're trying to thread there. All right. Hey, what do we want to do today? We want to talk maybe about mastery. So mastery questions are great. And also level 12 warrior looking for group. What's up, Pelgear? Oh, good. Now we can see. We can see the comparison point here. It's gonna be perfect. I need to get a ride, by the way, over to Throne Fast. So, if anybody knows, anyone. Am I still pushing non-twinked? Yes, but I do have an update on that front. I need to level quickly because I need to be able to get as many of these classes done as I can as far as like having these experiences. I can't level too quickly because if I level too quickly, then I lose that feeling of, you know, actually experiencing it. So one change that I'm making to the rules, still not twinking gear or anything like that. But I am going to accept buffs. Now, I don't want to be followed around and power leveled, but if somebody runs by and throws something on me that might help me, you know, chew through a little bit more if I'm just soloing or something like that, I'm going to take it. Because, and my hope is, with the time that I can play solo, and with the time that I'm able to group, with especially this experience bonus coming, my hope is that we can move things along. Am I still looking for group members not to be twinked, or was that a first-time test? I would like to not have a twinked group as much as possible. Hey, Mina. Thanks for the raid. I'm sorry. Yeah, we did a quick look at mounts for a little bit and just shifted over. But it's there. It's there to be watched. Yeah, 1 minute later has every slippery. I hear it.
I know it's a slippery slope. I mean, I hesitate to say that, but it's like, I'm trying to keep hold of like a legitimate experience, but still move along quickly enough, because there's a lot of other classes to get to too, you know? Figure it out. We'll figure it out. Thank you for the port, by the way. Good question, Chris. The tier 1 and tier 2, that little blurb, we ultimately decided to take the dotted lines out, because even though there's a sense that as you progress further through the branch, you're getting to more kind of powerful. Thank you so much, Gorum. I appreciate that. You're getting to more powerful unlocks potentially as you go through the branch. And we had originally had that broken up into kind of like, you know, here's tier 1, tier 2. And it was also the idea that the further you get through the branch, you know, the more points you'll have to have spent in the branch to actually kind of make it. So you might hover over a node halfway through the Bastion branch. That, you know, as under the description of what the node does, you'll see underneath that, like, requires X points in Bastion, you know, to be able to unlock it. And then, of course, you know, some nodes you might have to spend more than 1 point to actually unlock it. Look at the nighttime, guys. Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm so excited about that. Woo. Come on. Sounds just like a skill tree. It depends. It totally depends on what your definition of a skill tree is, or what where your come from is. Okay, we've got Old Blue Eye, which we'll grab in the other zone. Tumidin, you're level... So we could have 2 Necros. I don't mind 2 Necros. A Monk Pally combo. Sure. Yeah, why not? Mo, I want to. I mean, I need to. I need to. It's not a question of if I'm going to do the other classes. It's just a question of, like, how quickly... Because, I mean, obviously, I could, like, set my level to 30 and go, you know, into a level 30 dungeon and give myself, you know, test gear that's kind of appropriate for that level. I could do that. There's an insane amount of important context. I mean, but it would be like a waste of time, because you're not learning anything. I wouldn't learn anything. I've learned so much playing through these classes raw. And, you know, there's a couple of different ways I could do it. I could go, okay, like, and you guys feel free to feed into this, because, you know, I'm doing this for 2 reasons. I'm doing it, number 1, to continue to kind of spread the word of Pantheon, to play the game, to be able to talk about the game publicly, to see our community grow, and, you know, everything that comes with that. And I'm doing it to have fun. I'm doing it because I love streaming, all that stuff. I'm also obviously doing this because it's insanely valuable and insightful and key to a lot of the decisions that we have coming. So there's a couple of different ways that I could slice it. I could do like I just said, you know, okay, now I'm going to allow buffs, and I'll make use of buffs when I can. Or the kind of thing where I'm like, okay, I'm going to level up to, you know, halfway into a level. And then once I hit halfway, I'll set my level to the next level. And then, you know, there's probably other ways of doing it too. Or I could wait until the XP patch hits and just see if double experience is enough. But on some level, I need to figure out a way to maintain the experience, because I still need to go farther on the other classes too. I mean, I don't know that stopping before I hit level 30 on a class is going to be sufficient, and even then, you know, it's like it's not the full picture. So I'm still trying to figure it out a little bit. And you guys are welcome to say, hey, I think this would be a good way to do it, or whatever. Tag Legit, that's a good question. When do you think we'll see the 3 specialist tier names for each class? That is a good question. I don't know when, but I'm also just trying to think about like when a good time to do that would be, because we have most of them. As well, so yeah. Oh, quick save. Yeah, bring in the rogue. Let's do rogue. We've got... Okay, let's get our bases here. So we've got 2 necros. Wait, where's Old Blue? Old Blue Eye, if you're listening, come in. Corpse taxing another necro. Okay, let's invite Solin and Quinlan. Blue Eye. We've got quick save. Yeah, let's do rogue. We probably need a healer though, don't we? Might be good. Hmm. Oof. Quick save. I might actually have to sit you out to get us to healer in here. I'm sorry. Yeah. Glorf, bring the Shami. Oh, I had an offer from a shaman. Hold on. Whoops. Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to be as fair as I can with this, so. Oop. Sorry, Spock, if you want to come back, I'll pick you up. And then, yeah, let's head in the pitch blackness over to Hounder Cave. That was you, Get Glorf? Are you sure? Well, you wouldn't have said it if you weren't sure, so. Okay. Will do. Are you on some manner of glorfdom? Okay, let me, while we're doing this, did I see my question? Am I okay to repeat it? Yeah, it's, well, I can just find your question here. Hold on. Hold on one sec. Okay, I'm back. Okay. Let's go with Spock. Since Spock technically asked first. And then we'll just have a nice like roster to pull from if anybody needs to leave early. That's a good thing. Because I've got like Super Trash as well. Ready to go. We're in good shape. We're in good shape. I will wait to... Well, actually, let me bind here before I make the run. Okay, so your question... so with the Warlord branch... So actually, wait, hold on one more time, guys. Okay, back again. Hey, before I get back to your question, it's to see is so we found out yesterday when we were doing some like calibration testing for the lighting changes that apparently sometime back around when I built this computer for streaming, which, you know, like a year and a half ago now, or like 2 years. I don't remember how long it's been. But apparently at some point when I did that, I was playing Tarkov back then off and on. And I ended up at some point following this kind of guide on how to change your NVIDIA display settings to kind of make visibility a little easier, because some of the maps in Tarkov are just insane for visibility. And, yeah, so just a little piece of advice. If you, for whatever reason, at any point have done that, make sure you remember, because the things I was seeing on my screen compared to what other people were seeing on theirs in the company, a little different, a little bit different. And, you know, obviously it affects the way that, you know, the stream looks and various other things. So, there was this really kind of intense saturation and vibrancy and contrast that was going on with my screen compared to how things really look. So anyway, I was glad to find that. Yeah, I could probably do a quick little side-by-side comparison here. So this is what it used to be, okay? This is kind of how it used to be. All the time. Everywhere. And then we'll go back to and then this is what it's supposed to be like, just stock. Like just no adjustments, nothing. So, anyway, that's that. Just a little interesting nugget. Now, let's get to the question. So, with the Warlord branch mastery, with the Warlord branch, is that going to be dropping tanking ability to become a DPS? If so, will there be other thematic archetypes that push the boundaries of the base class's established role? Great question. It is the home of Dangle Wangle. Dangle Wangle. Yes. So, let me give you guys a few examples of how this could play out. First of all, yes, it does mean that you are essentially trading some tanking effectiveness and other forms of utility, and through your decision making, you're exchanging that for things that push you more in an offensive direction. Let me actually get the hold on, let me get the visual up in front of us here. Okay. So, as you progress through the Warlord branch, you know, you've got your first array kind of up on the screen here. You're looking at the 3 different branches, and you are going Warlord. There are going to be, as you go through here, exclusive choices. So, for example, it could be that, you know, you have... Oh. Are we going? Are we starting? No, it's... Okay, it's there. All right. Did these guys just choose random targets to do that to? That's not cool. Yeah, it might be a good idea to not sit and wait in here to get started, because that's crazy. We need to address that. Okay, real quick. I'll try to make this quick. There will be decisions that you make that are going to be exclusive, right? So, a good example, one of the examples that we worked through, like, you know, shield block obviously is very important. It's fundamental to the warrior tanking, and obviously in Bastion you would have at least one, if not multiple, and even like a major node. And this, again, it's very important to emphasize, like, this is totally loosely conceptual. Like, don't look at the squares in here and say, oh, there's only going to be that many major nodes. Don't focus on that part of it. This is purely visual. But let's say you came to a point in the branch where you had a major node related to shield block. And then down here in the Warlord branch, because we want Warlords to still be able to tank, they'll still have the base, you know, warrior kit available to them for the most part. But they're not going to be using a shield most likely. They'll likely be using a two-handed weapon or dual wielding. So there might be a node in here that for Warlords is either a new ability that's like a parry version of shield block, or something like that. But if you choose that, it would be mutually exclusive to the shield block node in the Bastion branch. So it's not like you're going to be able to, scoop everything up. I mean, that's one of the most important things to understand about this is you have relative freedom you could, if you wanted to, you could literally just kind of live down here in the first kind of segment of each branch and never progress past that. If you wanted to just totally generalize, but to the degree that you really want to lock in and specialize in one of these, the further you get in the branch, number one, you're going to eventually run out of points to do anything in the other branches. Not to mention that the total amount of points you have is shared between the two. There's a cap though, right? So you could only spend up to like 75 points in the in this array and up to 75 in the other one. You couldn't dump your total mastery points into a single array. But if you want to specialize, and and I'll just give you guys a little bean. Warlords, for example, it may be that warlord warriors are the only warriors to have cleave. Just as an example. Maybe. But, and then there could be some other nodes related to AoE damage in the warlord tree. But some of you may be like, well, that sucks because AoE in Pantheon's not good. You're going to break mezzas. You're going to be like, why lean into something like AoE? Well, it could be that a specialized warlord down here in this section might be able to unlock a node that causes your AoE attacks to ignore mezzed targets. So you can use them more freely. That's an example of a way that you could get into kind of it's not like WoW where you've got this like 31 point talent and you're locking this like ultra mega ability and the whole tree is built around that. We really are trying to make it more play style, role, power fantasy oriented. And that's just an example of how that could look. So, let's see. Yeah, there is definitely a mix and matching of different branches for sure. Yeah. Okay. I'll just minimize that in case you want to do it again. All right. We're here. Will warlords get skimpier armor? No, it won't change like the base armor type. Oh, and to the other question, or the other part of the question about like role, fluidity of role, it's not going to, think of it more like the flexing, right? So this is a place where we can really kind of accentuate this idea of flexing. It's not like you're going to have, a paladin spec that turns them into a full healer where they can take the place of a cleric or something like that. You're not going to have a warrior that can take the place of a CC class. It's not like that. There's room within the roles to, accentuate your base kind of intended role or an alternate playstyle that's adjacent to that role and kind of in harmony with that role. So warrior flexing into a DPS, or choosing to accentuate, more of their, I'm not going to spoil it, but like for the commander warrior, for example, like some of the things that they get if they specialize, if a warrior specializes in commander that we've discussed are really friggin' cool. Like, and are really going to kind of make it clear, like this is a commander like style warrior. Like they can do things that the other warriors can't do, and it should be that way for each of them, where you kind of have this like sense of wow, like that's crazy that a Bastion warrior can do that. That's crazy that a commander warrior can do that. That's crazy that a warlord warrior can do that. So anyway, let's but you don't have to specialize either, because there's benefit and there's merit potentially in going broader, right? So we're interested to see, as we get things in and start testing and stuff, like how players do it. But that's the goal anyway, is that broad. I'll pull back to here. We'll start with the Ravager here once it paths up. So one question I have is which banner should I be using? I actually think about trying the Challenger's banner to see how that feels. Maybe I'll give it a second though and see how Threat feels first. Tripwire, yes. This is part of the spring update, yeah. I need to get my Mocking Blow back. I forgot about that. Let's do that real quick. Oh, I also need to get... Do I need to get some... bright? Yeah, I need to get bright caps while we're here too. Yes, please. Which banner do I have? Let's see. Challenger's banner. Oh, I forgot we had a paladin in the group. It's like, who's yoinking these things? We've got a paladin. We got a paladin. Does the PTR server launch Friday? No, it does not launch Friday. The PTR server won't come up until we're back and in the new year. I'm not exactly sure the date. Is the skeleton pet out tanking me right now? Like, is the skeleton pet holding more threat than I am? Because if that's the case, we need to have a little chat. Are you kidding me? How? Like, what does it do? Oh, because of its... Well, it's got its taunt, but is that... I don't know. Bright caps, please. Hello. Oh. Brought some things. Apologies. Lord Commander. Lord Commander. Anybody know what that's from? I don't think I was standing in Ravage. But I could have been. If I was standing in Ravage and I don't think I was, then that's even worse, right? Okay. Let's keep going. Come back. Yeah. I think it's more that they kind of stand at an angle, right? Oh, no, never mind. They do kind of stand at an angle, though. Okay, I'm gonna put down the Challenger's banner and see if I can feel any difference. Headband. Headband. All right. Got a little bit of goop on the screen. That's fine. Looking for bright caps and creepers. Got some creepies. Okay. No bright caps, huh? That's too bad. I love those banner visual effects. That's cool. It's cool. Yeah, he's okay. I think it's just the pet's taunt. I think that's all it is. Do 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 do. I don't even need to bring this back, do I? Famous last words. Okay. I'm a little low on health. But it's okay. Because I knew that my group had my back. Didn't worry for a second. Well, let me try to get him out of the way of Gwendolyn here. Okay, there we go. I want Gwendolyn to get chewed up in the ravage. I can say this. I would hate to heal myself, considering I play a healer main most of the time. I would hate healing myself right now. You know? Yeah. Is it stressful? Good. That's good. Japanese 4K subs on YouTube. Well, you know what? Now that you mention it, I do need to say something. You know, being a content creator was not in the cards for me. Wasn't in the plan, wasn't in the bingo book. I've started to really love it. And so there's part that, you know, every once in a while I have to put on this like content creator hat for a second and say, hey, it's actually a legit thing. When you like something on YouTube, it makes the algorithm happy. When you subscribe to someone on YouTube, it makes the algorithm happier. When you comment on something on YouTube, it makes the algorithm even happier. And when you do all those things, it tells the algorithm, hey, this is kind of a yummy video. We're gonna show it to more people. So, all that to say, if you're watching on Twitch, that's awesome. If you want to support the stream, after the stream or during the stream, give it a like on YouTube. It's a little weird because when you're streaming, when you're live streaming on YouTube, it doesn't put it under the video section. You have to actually go to the live section. So anyway, I would not have a problem with you guys doing that. If you play on the railroad tracks, you'll get trains. I mean, that's very true. That's very true. What's happening? Okay. To my fellow older men in chat, should I make the executive decision to have chili cheese dogs for dinner tonight versus, say, grilled chicken and veggies? I have a tushy bidet. I am covered there. Is the response to your rear will thank you tomorrow if you go grilled. Okay. I don't think there's anything I need to add there. All right. We're still in the forward progress category. So, globe of water. Oh, yeah. Sweet. So, drawn stalkers, shadow step, targeting any player in range, not just in combat with. And then, what did you say? If you consent a res, then get a request consent from another before the first is done, it stops the previous one from working. Okay. All right, I'm gonna just. Are we good? Are we? No, we're not good. We don't have buffs yet. Let's buff up, and then we'll keep rolling. One tanking rule you need to try and get: if CC fails for whatever reason, all mobs are still yours to keep off others. That's fair. I definitely still, so again, for those of you that maybe haven't caught all the streams, I am not a tank. Like, I have rarely tanked, and certainly have never ever been anything like a main tank in any of the MMOs I've done. I'm always typically a main healer, so I know a lot about tanks, and I interact with tanks a lot, and I understand, you know, a lot of things about tanking and difficult tanking and various things, but I'm not a tank. So, you know, and if I'm not maining an MMO, I would put myself very much in a mid-core gamer category. I'm not a hardcore gamer. I'm certainly not like a top 1% or anything like that, except for like maybe for a period of time back in Wrath of the Lich King era and arenas and various things. But it's been a while since I played that hard, that heavy. So what I think are interesting about these streams, if you can get past the people like, he doesn't play his own game and all that kind of stuff, is watching somebody that is very mid-core and probably leans a little bit more casual this day and age try and do something like tank. So the advice is extremely helpful. How many hours in MMO? Oh, and like MMOs in general do I think I have? Oh my gosh, man. Yeah, a lot. A lot. I've been chronically playing MMOs since I was 15 years old, starting with EverQuest, all the way until, like, I would say my mid-20s, and then at that point became less chronic and more heavy enthusiast. And then at that point, you know, in the last 10 years or so since working on Pantheon, it's been much, much, much less, because developing an MMO is very, very different than playing an MMO for the most part. But there's a lot of hours, man. That's a lot of hours. Mind if I pull so I can practice splitting? Please do. Please do. I will focus on practicing tanking. I don't enjoy pulling all that much, so happy to do it. Let's get Challenger's banner down. What I'm wanting with the warrior, like what I'm feeling that I don't have yet, is what I was able to gain with the rogue and with the necromancer to a degree, even though it's a little different. But that is actually, I can interrupt those things, right? By the way, if you guys don't mind, both necros, if you could turn off your I'm gonna just take this without asking because it's not statted. If you could turn off your pet taunts, just for now. I just want to see. I want to see something. Anyway, I don't remember what I was saying. Oh yeah, with the warrior. What I got with the rogue and what I got with the necro was this really nice sense of like a, you can think of it like a sequence, or I hate rotations, but what I mean by rotation is like WoW raiding as like a rogue, like a combat rogue or a mutilate rogue in Wrath era, where you have this very precise and specific sequence of abilities that you use in order within a window of time, and then it repeats and it repeats and it repeats, and you have to execute that same order and that same sequence over and over again to maintain your output. I do not like that. That's what I mean by rotation when I say I don't like that. What I don't mean, what I do like, are more like mini rotations, or what I would call a sequence, where when I got to the point with the rogue, and I'm not saying it's optimal or even the best way to do it, but I got to the point with the rogue where it was like, when I engage a target, I know I'm going into stealth, I'm building up opportunity. I'm using max opportunity to get a maximum strength Sinister Strikes. Then I'm letting my opportunity build back up, and then I'm shadow falling at max opportunity again, so I know I'll have enough opportunity to kind of, apply a bleed, do a kick, get corrosive brew on the target, use, and kind of all that. And then once I do that kind of sequence, then it's open for a little while. And then I'm like, okay, well, maybe I'll throw this ability in there, or I can kind of like look around and get some situational awareness. Maybe I decide I need to, pop a flash bomb or something so I can throw down, a trap or whatever it is. And then at some point it rolls back around and I can do something like that sequence again. I like that. And I feel like I got to that point on the rogue. I feel like I got to that point on the necro. I don't feel like I've found that on the warrior yet. And I think it's because fundamentally there's a few little tweaks that I think we should make to help them find that pocket a little easier. I kind of like the idea of when I engage a target, I know what I need to do to kind of lock in my initial threat. I think getting Strike of Breaking back to a stacking ability, even if it's just a 3-stack, would help. And then weaving something in between each of those stacks. So you bring something back, very first hit, Strike of Breaking, then you put in, then you Mocking Blow, then you Strike of Breaking again, then you like apply a bleed or something like a rend, then you Strike of Breaking the 3rd time, and then after that it's a kick or you know, a punish or something like that, or maybe an interrupt. But then you're kind of locked in, right? And then from there you're using Mocking Blow, and then you're paying attention and you're just kind of watching what's going on. You got taunt ready if you need it. Are we ready to pull again? Okay. And Solon, are you gonna pull? Yeah, Brutix. Yep. For sure. I need to keep behind these banners. Keep them turned this way if I can. Easy peasy. Yep, warps, that's a good point. Goes by Jabba now. Hey, Anathem, by the way, thank you so much for the tier 1 sub. Really appreciate that. Oh, this way. Oh wait, is that a different team? Is this ours? I will assume that it is, yes. New combat revamp. Hello, wow, I am butchering this. Hello, I've been following the game since the first announcement. Hold on, let me make sure I don't miss this first Ravage. Been following the game since its first announcement. Question, the new combat revamp, is it the final form or maybe will change in the future? It is the final form. It is the final form. Will there be balancing tweaks or, you know, small adjustments here and there? Of course. But yeah, this is it. This is it, because we're it is time to get this game out the door. Ooh. I'm gonna assume that nobody actually, no, I don't need Ratkin blood, do I? I'm still gonna grab it anyway. I don't know what's valuable or not. We're gonna throw down the candles. We're gonna, oh my goodness. I don't need Caspel right. We're gonna die because I'm not paying attention. Here we go. Sorry about that. This way. Nope. Oh. Oh no. Woo. Nice. I didn't quite get it positioned in time because I was looting. I know, tanks. That's one of the unspoken rules of tanking, right? You don't get loot. I know. Oh yeah, let me assign the here. I can bring the shaman back pretty easy. If we're talking about pulling one. What? Oh, shaman is tough to, I thought you said shaman's tough to deal with, not heal with. Sorry. Yeah. Hey, Sweet D Willie, good to see you, man. Good to see you. Hoping we'll be seeing maybe a bit more of you in the spring. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe sooner. That'd be sick. I enjoy some Sweet D Willie streams. Came back. Oh, sick. Nice. Okay, I'll have to keep an eye out. Okay, we are key binding this banner right now. Stance. We'll do shift middle. Okay. Oh, good, man. Really glad to hear that. Good. Scatterweave scarf. I mean, you know. Anybody use that? No! I wanted to storm. That would have been perfect. Mind coding is one of the things I do not do. I do not code. I understand code a lot more than I ever did, for sure. I can kind of follow code to an extent. But yeah, I do not code. I do speak in code, that's correct. Spoken code is a very different thing. Very different thing. Pantheon was my most played Steam game on my Steam replay. Nice. That's sick. I love that. Dying to play it again eventually. That's awesome. Right on, poor Kamix. That's so cool. Joppa, you want to hear something that's not at all funny? I just spent 2 hours taking my son to a doctor's appointment that's not scheduled. That's scheduled for tomorrow. Ooh. Ooh. Well, you want me to tell you something that... oh, that's not ours. That's not ours. That's not ours. Sorry. Is it ours? I'm confused. It is. Okay. Well, yeah, I don't know if this will make you feel better or not, but my youngest, a few days ago, fell and hit his mouth on the side of his bed, the hardwood kind of board on the side of his bed, and his top tooth cut through his lip, like all the way through it. It was like a hole. Which is, you know, this is the kind of thing that you want to hear and see. So we ended up going to the doctor when there wasn't a scheduled appointment at all, you know? We didn't even have an appointment, and we went, so... But he's good. He's a trooper. Thankfully, it was like, you know, it was a very clean kind of cut. It wasn't like real gashy or anything, so we're all good, but yeah. Yeah, it was kind of one of those unexpected, like, thrust into this this experience where, you know, this is kind of his first time having, you know, like a something done like that, like getting stitches or whatever. So there's lots of conversation about what that's like and what to expect, and so it's funny with when you have, you know, we have 3, and by the time you get around to your thirds kind of experiences, you know, with your first, it's like, it's such a big deal. And I mean, it's funny because like something similar has happened to all 3 of my kids. With my oldest, it was his chin, and you know, it was such a big deal, like to us and to him, and you know, it was this huge thing, and you know, we were like trying to be so intentional about like telling him what to expect and helping him. I don't know. I just remember it being really, and then by the time you get to your third, it's like you almost forget like, oh, you know, you haven't had this experience before. Like, maybe I'll give you a little heads up of what to expect, but it's just not quite the same. And it's funny how, like, even when you're aware of that and cognizant of that, and you want to try to be as, like, I don't know, thoughtful for each one to give them a similar kind of experience or whatever, you just don't. And then it's interesting to see, you know, how they're a little bit different because of that, you know? Look at this aura right here, level 48. Oh my goodness. Woo! Wow. Wow. What's up, Dennis? Good to see you. Same thing happened to me as a kid. My tooth didn't go through my lip. Big right tooth snapped in half. Ooh. Your son did the same thing, Flange? I'm sorry. Super Jaw, your tooth snapped in half. Wow. Ooh, man. That's rough. Having a tooth snapped in half. I got excited for a second, but that's no good. Hockey stick in gym class. Split chin for about 10 stitches. Shattered one tooth. Split other in half. Oh my goodness. Yeah, let's move in deeper. That's insane. I think, well, for hockey though, maybe it's not. Maybe that's not overly insane. Any bright caps? Come on, bright caps. There's this. Oh, we were roll on this. Hockey stick to the... Well, that's gym class. I forgot. Elenium Falcon. You wouldn't expect gym class to get absolutely wrecked in the face. All right, let's roll on the mining node here. So with a commanding roll right out of the gate. All right, we got 2. They're both Ravagers. Great. Let me see if I can get both of them facing me here. That one's mezzed. Hold on. See, this is where this, like... Synlytic, I just read your comment, yeah. So that should not have happened. That shouldn't have happened. The reason that happened I'm gonna blame just the general clarity of being able to see and ascertain what's going on. Now, I did panic a little bit. I did kind of like... I was worried that Ravage had started going off and I had missed the tell, and I couldn't tell if that was the case. So I spun around because I saw all of this. I mean, literally, I'm kind of walking back through this in my head. I saw all of this Mantle of the Mist spam or whatever, because I'm assuming, or stream, because I'm assuming Hurry the Pass was used. That made me think, for whatever reason, I'm taking a bunch of damage, or maybe this thing went off. Spun around, only to realize, no, it hadn't happened yet. Came back around, because I don't want them to ravage while I'm facing everybody else. I'm trying to determine, because the mobs keep turning to, like, do things to other, like, people. And I'm like, okay, do I have aggro on this right now? Like, do I need to taunt this? Then Ravage starts actually going off in my face, and I don't respond quickly enough. Something in there is the reality of what happened. But man, it's just like... Wow, those are actually really nice. I'm definitely... Anybody need those boots? Bruh. This is so aggravating. I'm gonna loot them, but if anybody needs them, speak up and we can roll. Otherwise, hey, thank you for the buffs, Forbes. Hey, Jaren. Yes, my necro technically is high enough level to for taming, yeah. Another thing that I'm totally not doing right now on my warrior is... So is that a case of not enough clarity or not paying enough attention because of chatting and then panicking? I mean, it's definitely a little of both, but like... I guess what I'm commenting on when I say clarity is like the ability when you do... Like, we don't necessarily want the game to be where if you lose your focus for a second because of something in real life or what something takes your attention... that the time it takes you to regain clarity of what's happening is that long. Like, I should be able to kind of glance away or kind of shift my focus for a second and then come back and, like, ascertain what's happening more quickly. Especially, like, at this level. Like, you know, we're not talking about a raid situation or anything. We're talking about, like, a, you know, we're like level 10. And it's, I think it's just that obviously there was a lot of player error going on there. That was not optimally played, but it just, it's like how much wiggle room do you give to allow for non-optimal play at this point, you know? And I think the clarity issue is plays a big role in that. I'm going to assume nobody needs these boots. I'm going to put them on. Boom. Just got done reading the mastery stream. I thought you didn't want to have specs. It seems like that's what this is. Ah. Yeah, we'll talk about that in just a second. The banner down. What I was saying is I haven't been using... Oh! I don't know why he turned around and did that. Why did he do that? Why did he turn around and do that? I'm going to also take these gloves. They're not statted. Unless if somebody needs them, just say so. They're just, oh yeah, this belt too. Come on now. They are 8 AC gloves. It wasn't an issue of Ravage. Ravage is relatively easy to avoid when you're watching for it. The problem is, if you happen to glance away, if you glance away and it happens to be at a point where you may have missed the start of it, where the tell is, but then because of like the sheer amount of stuff going on between visible effects, floating combat text, nameplates, the list goes on. If I can't quickly kind of ascertain, like, is something ravaging right now? That's more where the problem's coming from. Because, and like I said, part of the issue for me, this may just be a me thing. one of the things that I'm noticing as I'm playing, particularly here playing a tank, which is something I don't have to think about with anyone else, with any other class, is this thing that the NPCs do where they turn to face whatever they're doing something to, which on the surface is great. Like, they should, right? But when I'm trying to tank and I'm seeing these mobs turned and facing this direction and this direction, I'm, at least not yet, I'm not clear on, like, have I lost aggro on this? Like, does something else have threat? And so I'm trying to, like, process this while trying to kind of see through the clutter. And then, yeah, you know, on top of that, you've got the player error of, like, just kind of panicking and running around like an imbecile. So I don't know. I'm kind of just processing some of this stuff out loud. But I will say, every time he turns to cast, I'm like, oh crap, I lost threat. But I haven't lost threat. He's just casting on someone else. So I just need to get used to it. Because I like that. Like, I like that they turn to do that. This is where things like threat meters are born, right? Tanking and streaming is hard to do. Tanking and playing in general has been kind of hard to do, but tanking and streaming, tanking especially, is built a little different. Dude, I can't wait to get close the gap. So when these punks do that, I can just hop right over to them. Yeah, Nurox, 100%, I agree. 100%. Anyway, let's get back to the question that was asked. You said you didn't want to do specs. What changed? It was a mixture of things. Some of it was player feedback. Because I think in generally speaking, players like the idea of being able to be a little bit different and kind of distinguished a little bit from other players. I think that's kind of it's not totally universal or whatever, but it's, you know, that was a very common point of feedback, is like, everybody's gonna be the same at the end of the day. You know, what's gonna make this warrior different from this warrior, kind of thing. And I think hold on, wait. We just got one? Okay. So taking some of that into consideration. And then as we processed that and thought about it, you know, I think the idea just overall started to become more compelling. Because as with so many different things, when there are options and there are exchanges and compromises and decisions that have to be made, the relic is up. Ooh. That's cool. Yeah, I'd love to see if we can get that. Whenever there's decisions to be made and trade-offs and things like that, excuse me, and you can't get everything, it means that the things you can get can be more potent, more impactful, more meaningful. And you know, the different ways that we had kind of sliced mastery before, we were ending up with just very inconsequential upgrades, whereas in this approach we can get a lot deeper. a lot more. Those upgrades can be a lot more robust. So there's not a whole lot more to it than that. I think specs are cool. You know, I never was against specs because I don't like the idea of that. But keep in mind too, there's a difference between specs that are like World of Warcraft type specs where, you know, you are able to almost like change roles entirely. Yeah, I think of something like a paladin who, you know, can tank and like main tank, main heal, and main DPS, and they're all kind of like, for example, the warrior, the warlord warrior, a warrior that specs into the warlord branch that takes it all the way and actually specializes in warlord is not going to be able to match the DPS output of a rogue or a wizard or a monk or a ranger. It's not going to turn the warrior into a DPS class. You know, yeah, I mean, I say that like maybe there's a way with the right kind of consumables, the right gear, the right player skill, you know, and that's kind of the cool thing about it is, you know, I'm excited to see how far players can actually push it, but it's not designed with the intent that you're going to be able to take the full role of a competitive DPS class up to the same level as a dedicated DPS class. But what it does mean is that, you know, when you're leveling up, or if you're somebody that is more interested in maybe soloing or duoing or something like that, and you don't have as much of a need of like a dedicated full group oriented tank, that you have an option as a warrior now to play that way and can kind of focus on seeing how far you can push that. But it could just as easily be that I mean, okay. I think we're done here. I think we're done. So no, this is good to be put in these situations as like this is how you learn to tank. This is how you learn not to be a jumpy little fool around bridges. That's on me. But that was scary. That's right. ADHD is a blessing and a curse. It is indeed. So, where were we? The warrior turning into a DPS as a warlord was something that I was slightly concerned about, to be honest. Yeah. Yeah, we don't... So we're not talking specs in that regard. I think the rub is that specs will almost certainly turn into meta builds, whereas the AA system was purely based on playtime. I'm going to give a hot take here. Wait, what? Should I? No, we're good. I think meta builds are fun. I think meta builds can be helpful for players to kind of get their bearings. Thank you, Vorps. You know, one of the things when you Reses are they're just a long cast. You know, when you start a new game or you're looking at playing a new game and you're trying to figure out what class you want to play and whatnot, like having these meta builds and these various different kinds of builds that do different things can be really helpful to kind of get a person oriented. AA systems are great. Like I liked EQ's AA, but I'll be honest, like I never played EQ long enough and deep enough to fully max out an AA tree or an AA, like the AA stuff for a given class. And even with AAs, there were things that were like, nah, like, you know, do I really want to spend a point in that? You know, that seems kind of... So I think systems like what we're developing allow us to, you know, because we're free to make them as broad and as deep as we want, and we're able to take like the best parts and the most consequential parts, and maybe not even that alone, like the best parts, and also like the moderately interesting and compelling parts from that, and build a system around using just that, and then you're choosing kind of as you go through which ones you pick. I think that's, I will at least say I think it's an equally compelling way to do it. Yeah, Remiel, that's right. Whoop. Almost did it again. That's how I jumped off the first time. I'm so in love with like jump storm and the mobility of that and the feeling of that it's getting me in trouble. I need to stay more grounded. In here anyway. I will continue to jump storm elsewhere, believe me, but not the best idea in here. Yeah, I'll pull to the treasure chest, that's fine. AA can add months of character development, whereas Mastery adds only weeks. Well, I mean, that depends on how long it takes you to get enough Mastery points. So, there's a line where I can't quite quite cross yet in terms of explaining some of this, because some of this is still, you know, we're still working through and making final calls on. A nice dagger. What? Where? Oh, dull iron dagger? I think I've got a dull iron sword. No, it's my... yeah. What's... I'd be curious to know what the... storm failed. What the stats are for it. 1 strength, 1 dex. What's the damage delay? 5. Yeah. Yeah. I'll pass. Oh, sorry. Yeah, what I was saying is talking about all the ways that you can earn mastery points. Like, we can talk about the ways that we have talked about and know for sure. There are a couple of additional ways that we're exploring as well. And then some of the details, you know, we're still kind of working through. And some of them we'll be testing out, too, on the PTR and kind of making some decisions as we're able to get feedback. But, I mean, obviously... I think it's generally understood that some mastery points will be gained through leveling. And as of right now, the plan is at least 1 per level. So every time you level up, you'll get a mastery point. The mastery system comes online at level 5. You will get 5 points, you know, right out of the gate to spend at level 5. And then from there, you'll get an additional point each time you level. So there's those. Now, if you, let's say, you know, that's what, 50 points. 50 points by level 50. And then let's say that, you know, your point allotment between the two arrays means that you can spend a total of 150 mastery points. That means that there are 100 mastery points unaccounted for just by leveling up. So where else will they come from? They will come from what we can speak to definitively right now is they're going to come from quest rewards for certain quests. Ow. Well, it's kind of like the 5th point is kind of your starting point. Like if you got a mastery point when you started your character, and then you hit level 5, you know, it's kind of like a point for each of those levels. Yeah. Otherwise, you'd be getting 49 points total instead of 50, so 50 is just a nice, even number. Ooh, that axe looks kind of juicy. I might take that axe if nobody else needs it or wants it. Just saying. I need to get my axe skill up too. Axe is just not doing great. Thank you so much. Sweet. Cool. Hey guys, after this next pull, I could use a bio break if we can. If that's a reasonable timing. I guess we could climb up to the safe spot if we need to, but anyway, I'm saying all this to say I think it's going to take people a good bit longer than a couple of weeks to complete mastery, because you can't just... There's a limit to how many mastery points you can get in various ways. So I'm actually pretty interested to see how it compares to something like WoW or EQ's AAs. I guess compared to like when AAs were first released, you know. Obviously there's a whole lot more AAs now than there were. We climbing up? All right. Oh, sweet. I actually need to sell pretty badly. I'm just gonna sell most of this stuff. Not even gonna worry about it. Boop, boop. I'll sell that. Guess I could sell this since I have... Okay. That's good. Yeah, I don't have a key for that chest, though. Maybe we'll get one. I gotta remember to keep looking for bright caps, too. Is this a good time for bio? Okay. I'm gonna take a quick bio. I will be back in just a second. Keep rolling. Yep. All right. All right, let's roll. Let's roll. Hopefully chair treated you guys well. Oh, oh, whoa, 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 whoa. What's happening down here? Gosh, I cannot wait till we get NPC target markers in. Like, that alone is going to make such a huge difference. That is so important. Mez this target. Focus this target. Skull is focus target. Moon is Mez target. We're just... He's so good. Chair said that it was a better power gamer than I am? Okay, well. Classic chair. Classic chair. Oh, whoops. Let's see. Thank you, Vorps. Aside from 50 points you gain as you level, what other methods will we have to obtain mastery points? Same as previous with MP, XP per kill, shards, new stuff. The MP, the mastery point experience per kill, that's one of the things that we're still locking in. Exactly how we want to handle that. You know, we could do what we've done, which, you know, is part of what we're considering, which is, you know, every time you gain experience, a portion of that goes to your mastery experience bar. There's also the possibility that we would give you the option, basically, to kind of like the AA experience, where you could choose to reduce your mastery or your adventuring experience to funnel some of that into mastery, that kind of thing. Could I restart? Yeah, so basically a few things that we're considering still locking in, aside from levels, aside from quest rewards, certain, you know, special achievements, various things. The things that more details will be coming out for soon, and certainly things we'll be testing, you know, on the PTR and whatnot, is number one, mastery shards. So really love the idea of mastery shards. Our plan at the moment is to continue to do that. For those of you that aren't aware, the way mastery shards are intended to work is that you have an incredibly rare chance to get a mastery shard when you you know, anytime you loot something. And once you've accumulated 4 mastery shards, there would be this kind of special faction of NPC in various cities and villages that could combine them together into a mastery point. That's the whole mastery shard loop. And that's something that we're looking at. The other one is the mastery experience bar. So if you look, you know, in your inventory, you've got mastery right here with the blue bar. And every time you gain experience, a portion of that, or I think it's actually not even a portion of that. I think it's a set amount feeds into the mastery bar. And then once you fill it up, you get a point. We may continue to use this, something we're considering. Though we will very likely change the way that it works. For example, instead of there being this kind of flat amount of experience that you get, mastery experience you get every time you get experience, it could be the kind of thing where you need to like opt in for it and say, I want to reduce my adventuring experience by this much and funnel that amount into mastery. Or something along those lines. So those are the two that are kind of TBD. More information coming as we finalize those methods. Oh. All right, relic roll time. So far. Ooh, we got a tie. Oh, never mind. Tumadin. Oh, you will get a mastery point on level up. Yeah, that's the plan. You will definitely get a mastery point when you level up. This is, since there's a lot more mastery points to be spent than just the ones you get from leveling up, this is about what are the additional avenues to get mastery. It's interesting how insanely game-changing it is to have a yoink. When you've got a caster NPC and you have to like run in here and interrupt it so it'll run back with you, like you're, you know, if there were other NPCs in here, like you're cooked. Yo, what's up, Crazy? Good to see you. What is a node? A node, a mastery node are these, just these little like unlockable nodes. Unless we're talking about mining nodes. Sorce. Hello, Sorce. That was worth it. What's my axe skill at? Oh, it's not that bad. What questions am I not answering? Sorry. It's if I'm not answering questions, like obviously I'm not going to talk about like when and time frames, and we know that. But if there's a question that's asked and I've not answered it, it might be because I just didn't see it. Oh no, I want to see us get back to a place where our shields have AC, yeah. I think shields definitely need some AC. Subclasses. No, not really. That is not in the cards. So it'll definitely be easier to see kind of the logic that we're using once more of the mastery arrays for the different classes are released. But it's definitely do we want to go see if we can get Hisser? Maybe we get a Rip Smack to drop. Who knows? Who knows? You never know. Oh, no, I'm having a great time answering the questions. We're all good. It's exciting. The mastery system's so exciting. But yeah, it's not really intended to create subclassing or anything like that. It's meant to be more of kind of a, I don't know, kind of a maturation of the flexing that we've talked about many times, where classes are able to flex into other roles, not to the same level as like main classes. All right, I'm shifting over to the Ravager now. But there is meant to be some flexing involved, but the mastery system is not going to allow you to dramatically shift into a totally different role that's not at least adjacent to your main class or part of the established flexing of that class. So for example, that's why a warrior would have a DPS branch. It's not going to make them standalone DPS classes. Like, you're not going to be saying, hey, looking for DPS, rogue, monk, wizard, ranger, and warlord warrior. Like, a warlord warrior is not going to be able to bring the same level of DPS as those classes, but the spec is there, the branch is there, number one, to provide some options that you could potentially pull from. If you're a bastion warrior, you might still be incentivized to pull some options out of warlord, some options out of commander, to fit with your play style and kind of what you enjoy. If you want to fully specialize in warlord, then that means as a warrior, you're going to be able to, do some DPS in a group. You're not going to overshadow one of the DPS classes, but it would be, it would be respectable. You would still have enough tanking kind of baseline to off tank. And if you're looking to solo as a warrior, for example, and you're kind of going into a season of time where you feel like I'm going to be soloing a lot, or I just want to solo, or whatever it is, then that branch, would provide an interesting alternative to that. It doesn't mean that you can't, solo or duo or trio or whatever as a bastion or a commander warrior. They would just be a little bit different. Some of those branches might be a little bit more efficient than others. So using the druid, I think the druid was using as an example, or with a question. No, it's not like there would be a spec that would turn you into like a melee DPS druid or some kind of like a tank druid or anything like that. Druids are primarily healers. And so their different mastery branches are going to be related primarily to that, but there will certainly be aspects of their branches that are more DPS minded. But again, it's at the exchange. It's exchanging that for, you know, some of your primary roles' power. So hopefully that makes sense. A lot of this stuff, you know, it's not going to be really, really clear until we get to the point where you guys are able to test it out and feel it and experience it. But hopefully the general concept's there. Yeah. Yeah, Faye, that's exactly right. Yep. Oh, I think I saw Brat Caps. I did. Almost ran right by him. Shione, it is in many ways an extension of the current class. It is meant to keep and respect the base class and then allow you within that base class to, you know, more fully kind of specialize and lean into a certain play style, certain theme. That is exactly what it is intended to do. How many bright caps do I need for the harvesting quest? 7. 7 of those things. Were there some down here that we missed? All right, group. It's time. It's time for a, how is Joppa's tanking on a scale of 1 to 10? Ooh. Ooh. Okay. Warrior, Paladin, Dire Lord, Bard. We have any bards in the group? No. We got a Paladin, though. Paladin, do you want to roll? Dex and Con over stamina. Should I keep the stamina ones though? These pants. This is 17 AC, 1 Dex, 1 Con. All right, let's do it. You know what? Take him. Take him, take him. I'm torn enough on whether I want to keep stamina that if they're good for you, go ahead and take them. Glorify, I said people in the group. What are people in the group going to rate my tanking? Not someone watching. I need to see if there's any bright caps down here. Nope. T out of 10, I like it. Can't ask for much more than that. Like a 9 if I wasn't streaming, but a 4 point or a 6.5 on Twitch. That's generous. I appreciate that. That's very kind. That might be a little generous. Might be a little, but I appreciate it all the same. with the crafting update coming out tomorrow, sorry, I got distracted reading something else. With the crafting update coming out tomorrow, did you have any hand in designing it, or was it mostly Neff or someone else? Definitely mostly Neff, yeah. But just like any system. So Mastery, for example. Mastery is something that is a design of mine from a long time ago. It's gone through a few different iterations, and like most systems, we as a design team, we kind of put it through the paces. And especially as I've been playing more and interacting with these things more, I've had a whole lot of feedback related to like gathering and crafting and various things. Mainly gathering. I haven't done a ton of crafting, but I'd like to. So these are all things that we, you know, incorporate. Whoever is owning a specific design, we incorporate those things in, and so. But yeah, definitely, that is definitely Neff is at the helm of that specific system for sure. Yes, of course you can buy one of these, or you don't need to buy it. Just hold on. Just get rid of that. Dude. Boop. And then... there. Is this the, this is the Nightbane robe, right? Nice. Get ready to have your mind blown when you actually equip it. It is something else, visually speaking. I am also going to steal these 4 AC bracers. If anyone needs them, please speak up. But yeah, there's no stats on them. They're just 4 AC. But let me know. We can roll it. Yeah, Doug Bug. For sure. Oh, the bag. Cool. No. It's lowest roll wins, right? Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of good feedback on Mastery, and thankfully we had it implemented long enough for it to not just be conceptual feedback, but actual, like, interacting with it feedback, which was good. Wow, that's quite a roll, Timidin. Goodness. Hey, Joppa, will Warlord spec be able to still tank? Just take chunkier hits, I presume? Yeah, I mean, we do want them to still have some tanking capability, but you will absolutely notice the difference between like a Bastion warrior tanking and even a Commander warrior tanking compared to a Warlord. Just to substantiate the trade-off, right? I don't know if it's because the tune is at a low level, but at the moment, the sword and board fantasy of this class seems very lacking. I agree with you. I agree with you. And there's various different ways we can improve that. But one of the biggest culprits right now is honestly, I think a lot of it's visual. And by visual I mean there's the visual effects, like the VFX side of it, where there's the audio side of it. You know, there's the animation side of it. It's a big one. Like this punish ability is a reactive ability that I can only use after I successfully block. But right now there's not really a good blocking animation. And then this ability doesn't even have an animation. So it literally is just a damage number and that's it. But then shield block, like this ability here, I want to have more reasons to use this than I do currently. Right now, I mean, honestly, guys, I'm not even using it, which is really bad, you know? And like that little shield bash thing I did right there to interrupt that ability, just like a little, you know? There's no like heavy just slam. Those things right now, I think, are part of the issue of feeling like the shield component. The shield is actually a huge part of why I'm able to do what I'm doing right now, but you just can't tell. So I agree. Ooh. All right. Who needs a 17 damage? Man, Convo is going to be very jealous. He was gloating to me about his little 12 damage two-handed hammer that he got in Wild's End on his warrior. If I win this, so who wants to roll on this? 17 damage, two-handed great hammer, 1 strength, 1 con. It's warrior paladin, cleric only. Who's rolling with me? All right, let's do it. Here we go. Okay. Okay. All right. No, it was not any. No, that had nothing to do with dev anything. I just typed the command. There's no. I'm not manipulating packets. That was wild. There you go. Maybe that's the no, I mean look, I mean that's all. Look right there. That's all I did. Flash random 100 just like everybody else. That's it. I just happened to roll a nat 20 exactly. Ooh, we got 2 little guys here. Okay. Come here. All right, I'm on the stalker. We can mez the cabalist as long as it's not dotted or anything. Gurkha, I rolled a 100 out of 100. Did a random out of 100 and rolled a 100. Sure, sure. He pressed F2. I heard it. I mean... Hey, grats. Grats, Solid. Do we want to try to move over to where Hisser is? Have we considered merging the combat window into the chat window to declutter the screen? Just have it in a separate tab, and maybe you can shift tab between tabs in the chat window? Yeah, we have. There is a whole lot of UI work and improvements that we need to do. And that is one of them. Pretty much every single bit of this UI is needing to be reworked and improved and just... Oh, yeah. Gloves and spear. I'm taking that. Unless someone says, hey, I want that too. $3.8 this semester? Dang. Nice, Phelan. Very, very nice. Streamer benefits. Okay, let's man, my axe skill's not going up at all. Oh, maybe it's that bug, maybe. Probably is that bug. Let's start building up our spear. Because of course I'm gonna get an Ichor Scorched Partisan one day, someday. Might as well start building up the skill now. You know? Oh yeah, it's real bad. It's real bad. Maybe I won't use the spear right now. Maybe that should wait until we're in a different context here. I love shield spear though. Love it. Decapolis, yes, we do. Okay, cool. Yeah, Sullen. All good. Thanks for getting a replacement. Cool. See you, Solid. I'm just catching up on chat here for a bit. Oh. I'm still failing to see what we're all getting up in arms about, though. I'm just gonna move up here to be safe, like everyone else has already done. Okay. Let's see if I can figure it out. I've lost the plot, guys. I don't see it. Okay, we can head to entrance. Can we make it to entrance, just the four of us? Surely we can. Surely we will. That's fair. Oof. Oof. Now see. This is a thing. Yeah, we can invis back if you're around, Glorf. And by if you're around, I mean like because you're around. Wait, where are you? Is that Kikalik or Glorf? What's happening? Glorf, where are you hiding? We're all being glorfed and we don't know. Ah. There. There it is. Let's do this. Leroy? Wait, I need to look for bright caps on the way. Go ahead without me. I'm taking this opportunity to look for bright caps. Like an absolute boss. Okay, there are no bright caps in case anyone was wondering. I'm not gonna harvest them. I just want to know if they're there. We never rolled on this node either. Any bright caps? Not a single one. Okay. Good. Good. Okay. Bling and Othram was their names. Bling and Othram. What are my thoughts on mastery points being non-refundable opposed to being able to respec? I think that's a bad idea. It's too... If we do our jobs and make a good system that has a lot of variety and just a manifold different outcomes, then I think not allowing respecs would be too much. Because you want players to be able to experiment and try different things, and the way we're planning on doing it right now is that, you know, the respec cost will be commensurate with how many points are being refunded. So if you've only put a few points in, then that cost will be pretty minimal. But if you're like respecing the entire, like, both arrays full points, then it's going to be pretty expensive. I have no chainmail. I have many empty slots. In fact, my slots are offensively empty. Which means I'm very excited about upgrades. There definitely will be less Elenium Falcon. There'll definitely be less Twinkie gear. Just because of some of the item controls that we're adding. Can buy my old cloth head, 3 AC, 1 stamina, 1 silver. Sure, I'll buy it. I'll buy it. I am Mr. Moneybags over here. Oh, can I not use it? Oh, you you can use it. Yeah, well, use it. By all means. Okay, so do we have a replacement coming? I don't know. Let's go ahead and just keep killing stuff while we wait at least. I can pull this Ravager when they come back. Nope. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, I need battle points. Wow, it's so rare that I'm like out of battle points. Interesting feeling. Oh, I'm using my spear. Ah, okay. Forgot that I had put that back on. We are definitely going back to axe until our situation changes here. Goodness. I don't know. Glorf, I don't know. We're about, we're almost 3.5 hours in. We might, instead of trying to fill back up, we might just kind of see how we can do here at the entrance for a little bit longer before we wrap for tonight. Because I need to eat some food. I'm starting to feel that, like, that feeling, you know what I mean? That hungry feeling where you're like, wow, it's been a little bit since I've eaten. I should probably do that. I actually use shield block, guys. Clip it. He used shield block. Clip it. One second. 1 second. How is that for timing? My wife just stepped in and was like, hey, dinner's almost ready. So it is about that time. I am definitely going to bust out the rest of this level tonight. I know that much. Man, guys, I'm excited for double XP. I'm just gonna say it. But, okay, listen. Let's go ahead and stop here, okay? Because I want to focus for a second before we wrap up. I don't want to be trying to pull and getting annihilated. Here's what we're gonna do. And this is exactly the kind of situation that we're wanting to improve come spring. I'm almost level 13 on this warrior. I've got nothing. I've got nothing. You know, I have a few pieces of static gear. These boots are kind of cool. Just got these, but these are like uncommon basic drops. You know, I don't have a ring. I don't have a cloak. I don't have a helmet, neck, earring. You know, and some of these things are more prestige items. Like I don't mind if players aren't able to get things like earrings or neck, you know, amulets or things like that till in the teens or whatever, or late teens or whatever. But what can I actually go for right now? What are you guys, when you're a level 13, 12, 13 warrior, what are you going for? The jacked rabbit? Oh yeah, the club that drops in that boar. I'm assuming the reason we want to keep the shield for now is because it's one of the few shields that has AC. It's got 600 block rating, like you said, the best block rating in the game. So punish procs are really nice with this shield, which is chopped. You know, it sucks. It's something we need to fix. Whoa. For your tanks, you're an armor smith and get them in full ashen bronze chain ASAP. Okay. So maybe that's the path we take with this character. Because I definitely have the mining skill for it. Man, now I really want that, I want that node in there so that I can, so I can get the final mining pick. Three chunks of potassium. Maybe there's a different place we can get potassium. I don't think we have time to get it right. Well, maybe. Let's see. Hold on. Let's see if we can do it quick. I'm gonna pull it back. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna have time. But you guys can tell a little bit about what my like Bartle score is, right? Like I like having goals. I like having things that I'm working towards. I love adventuring and exploration and things like that. But I like having an idea on my characters of like, I really want to go for this thing and I really want to go for that thing. And I've got a good sense of that on like the Necro and the Rogue now. I don't quite have a good sense at the moment you know, without getting and looking at the data. Something to reach for on the warrior. But the Ashen Bronze armor sounds pretty cool. No, I don't want any handouts though. Can't do handouts. I'm just more interested in like what kind of things could I kind of put on my list of stuff to try and get. That's what I'm interested in. Oh, sweet Christmas. All right, I guess we're doing this. Here we go. Oh, there's cablets pathing. I'm gonna try to pull this back. Good. A noob won't have any sense of going for anything. That's true, but we can do a lot more to, you know, come spring, a true Pantheon noob, no, they're not going to have sense of where everything is, but they're going to be able to go to so many more places, and those places are going to have, you know, more named, more rares, you know, things that can spawn. In many of our camps, there'll be a very small chance that, you know, something pretty decent can drop from any of the, you know, related NPCs. Very small chance, of course, but like kind of on that world drop level. There'll just be a lot more ways to, like, you know, there's going to be an auction house kind of a situation, so you're going to be able to learn a little bit about what exists just from, you know, perusing that from time to time. Like there's just going to be so many different ways than right now to even just have an awareness. And it's not that people are just going to be like flowing in gear, but it's more like, you know, kind of like it's been mentioned, the Elder Boar, the Jackrabbit, like where there's places like that where you could potentially, you know, go and see if you can get lucky from time to time. It could be really cool. Yeah, I really need to get to the point where I can craft armor and craft weapons. That would be great. If I could craft some armor, craft some weapons, like even foregoing the jewel crafting, which is much more kind of up my alley anyway. But I think for this character, it'd be cool to experience what those other crafting professions are like a little bit more. And I think I would definitely benefit from it. For sure. Oren! Yo! Oren, thank you so much for the tier 1, man. Good to see you. Yeah, an axe and a sword would be awesome. But honestly, any weapon that is like a legitimate jump, you know, like, I guess on like Rip Smack level, right? And maybe it's Rip Smack. Maybe that's what we go for again. I'm down. But if there's a crafting route, it'd be interesting to kind of try that route this time. Because on every character so far, it's all just been straight up drops. I've not really done crafting, so that could be interesting to try. Good to see you too, man. I hope you're having a great day too, Warren. Rip Smack's the only Rip Smack level item you're gonna get soon. That's fair. That's fair. All right, let's move up if we're gonna get this, because I think it's clear now. Other than this Ravager here, we can fight him. Just this node right here. Just trying to clear to this node. But to be very clear, we will be rolling on this if there's anyone else that wants it or needs it. Oh, I'm standing in Ravage. Sorry. Sorry. Come here. No, sir. No, 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 no. Nope. Ugh. I got overconfident. All right, who wants the node? Let's roll. Super Trash with another membership. My friend, thank you so much. That's awesome. Now don't pass just because. Like if you are a minor, well, if you want it, then here's my roll. Anyone else wants to roll? Roll. I mean, you're not gonna beat that, so you know. Good luck. Okay. All right. Let's hope it gives me 3. We'll see. Hey, Grix. Good to see you. What level's my group? We are all... I'm level 12. We've got 11 Shaman, 13 Necro, and a 14 Necro. Of course. 2. Of course. All right. Awesome. We did it. Let's head back, make sure we can get back up to the entrance safely, because I'm going to need to go eat. I am very aware of the threat meter right now. I'm going to pull this back into the room. The threat meter in my home is spiking, so I want to be very cognizant of that. But this gets me very, very comfortably in range to go ahead and get to level 13. And that means next time we're on stream, which with the patch coming this week, you better believe this is not going to be the last stream this week, guys. Come on. I mean, seriously. I know I need to get level 20 before Friday so I can get a mount on these characters. That's not happening, but on this character anyway. I can get it on my Necro though. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Excellent, excellent stream. Excellent session. I mean, you know, let's count our blessings here, right? We got the Dull Iron Great Hammer. It's going to be awesome for trying to solo some stuff and see how that goes. I don't know how that compares to like the tank, the shield warrior. Maybe worse. We'll see. We got a cool spear, which I love. Great stats too. So that's pretty sick. Got a couple pieces of armor. Got these boots. At least a little more AC. What's our AC sitting at? 133. You know. So, not complaining. You can solo group mob skeletons to get to 13. 12 was last level of XP for them. Oh, I'll have to try that. You mean like in the Throne Fast skellies? Yeah. But we're going to stop there for today. If you missed it earlier, at the beginning of the stream, did a little bit of some horse riding. If you're interested in the mounts, how they look, how they move, all that stuff, check out the top of the stream. You can watch it on my YouTube channel under the live section. If you do, please make sure you like the stream, comment on it for the algorithm's sake. If you haven't subscribed to the Joppa Vash channel on YouTube, please do so. It just helps. It tells YouTube to keep pushing it in front of more people, so more people see Pantheon and, you know, check it out. So please do that. What else was I going to say? Crafting and gathering diary tomorrow. Major patch coming Friday. This will not be the last stream this week, so I'll let you guys know when the next one will be. Until then, my friends, let me see. Yeah, I'll kick you guys over to Crushneck. Who knows what class Crushneck is playing? I mean, he, you know, obviously probably not the warrior. But, you know, we'll see. But yeah, I'll send you guys over to Crushneck, see what he's getting into. And, guys, thank you so much for the follows, the subs, the support, the chat. Awesome stuff. We'll be back again soon. Until then, my friends, take care. Adios.
One.